and welcome to 10-pin City, Sydney, with the excitement of the inaugural Australian Bowling Cup. You're watching Kegel, Rollin Thunder, with the nation's best bowlers teaming up to bowl for Australian glory. Featuring the doubles Baker format, 8 teams of 2 players have been divided into 2 pools, Pool A and Pool B. 3 matches per team in each pool, 2 points per win and 1 point per draw. The pair with the most points standing in each pool will progress to the final and will feature in a bowling battle for the Australian Bowling Cup. Today we welcome back Pool B with 2 tremendous showdowns. This is the 3rd and final match for each in Pool B, as this is do or die and decides who plays David Porto and Matt Riley from Pool A in the grand final. Desperate points are needed today. It certainly is advantage George Frilingos and Jarrod Langford heading into today's competition. They are unbeaten on 4 points. Ash Warren and Chris Castle are on 2. Beck Whiting and Beck Martin also on 2. And the tournament's over for Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant. Now Pool B, match 11, George Frilingos and Jarrod Langford up against Beck Whiting and Beck Martin. Crucial match here in the Australian Bowling Cup. Kegel Rolling Thunder. George Frilingos and Jarrod Langford up against Beck Whiting and Beck Martin. 2 Becks need a win. A win for George and Jarrod, and they'll be into the final. If not, then Pool B will be in a similar position to Pool A and will go down to a pin count. Here is Jarrod Langford. Starts off with a strike.
Big ball there from Jarrod. All that power, the revs, straight down left side, never looked like missing.
Determination on his face. Peter Basolda's Daniel Webb, and we're joined again by Jason Belmonte in commentary.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good to have you back, Jason.
Thank you. Very good to be back, and this is a pretty crucial match here.
Certainly is, and a great start here for Beck Martin.
Chances
Langford's shot there with another strike. But Beck Whiting stepping up now. Great bowler, Beck. He's dominating the ladies circuit here in Australia. Let's see if she can make it a double for her team.
And leaves a split.
Bit wide there, just hung out. Didn't get up to the pocket what she wanted.
Yeah, I don't think she liked that one off her hand. She kind of shoulders dropped a little bit, hoping for some good fortune. Unfortunately for her, leaving the 2-4-10. Very makeable, but quite difficult.
And she gave herself a chance, but misses. So an open frame. This was the first match, I think I'm right in saying, for nearly the whole tournament where the team that won the toss didn't elect the lane. And that's the girls who won the toss here. They elected to start and then handed over the lane decision to George and Jarrod.
Yeah, I don't understand that decision at all. In bowling, probably the biggest decision that is made is which of the 2 lanes is more favorable to yourself. So if you have that option, you would, well, in this case, 99.9% of the time, take that option to pick the lane. So I guess the girls trusted that the boys were going to do them a favor by letting them bowl on their more comfortable lane anyway. But very interesting decision. I'd love to talk to them later and find out why they did that.
It's a great start to George and Jarrod. George Frilingos with a strike to back up Jarrod's first up effort. And here is Jarrod Langford.
Well, a win for Jarrod and George guarantees them into the final.
He likes that. They're on fire at the moment. They've started off with 3 in a row, getting the crowd into it. They're pumped up, this pair.
I think we're in for a big show this game. These guys, they want their spot.
Here is Beck Martin. Needs a strike after that open frame. Gets it. She's bowled really well, Beck Martin, all tournament.
I've been very impressed with her performance this Rolling Thunder. I would love to get some stats, I guess, across her entire tournament, but she'd be up there with one of the higher strike percentages, closed frame percentages, certainly up there with the best of them this particular tournament.
Beck Whiting now. Leaves two, but threatened there to be leaving a big split as well, but fortunate.
Yep, the old 1-2. You throw one a little right, overcompensate the next time, miss it a little left. And she was still a little surprised at how much more that ball hooked, but off her hand, it did look a little left of target. So now hopefully she can find the one that goes in the middle of those two, and you know, get the X on the board.
3 in a row for George and Jarrod. Now it's George Frilingos.
Very classic style of George. Doesn't do anything too crazy. It's very smooth, very low, lower rev rate, lower backswing, lower ball speed, and typically nice and controlled. Typically, you'll find players who use a more traditional, classic style like that, they don't get themselves into nearly as much trouble. They break up a lot more splits. Their ball isn't doing any funny, crazy angles down the lane. But typically as well, when the scoring pace gets a little higher, the classic style tends to just fall back a little bit. But in this format, one game, and in this case, 5 shots, consistency is probably a little bit more valuable than power right now.
He gets to spare. George Frilingos and Jarrod Langford in control. Jarrod Langford to continue. The Australian Bowling Cup. Kegel, Rollin Thunder. Been terrific over the last few weeks. Seen some great competition. Jarrod Langford looking for a strike, and he is dialed in.
A great shot off the hand, that one. Beautiful ball roll, nice strong reaction. Carries all 10.
And a nice reaction after the ball strikes as well. You can tell how much this really means to Jarrod and George. Both of them showing a lot more emotion that you're probably not used to seeing from them in general tournaments. So good to see.
Beck Martin to keep the girls in it.
She wasn't happy with that shot.
Well, it looked like she just slipped a little at the foul line. Slip or stuck, I don't know which one it was. Once that happens, once your footwork is not perfect, it's very difficult to then release the ball the way that you want to release it. You lose a lot of your leverage, a lot of your extra power, and you lose a little bit of accuracy as well. So although the ball hit the pocket, probably didn't quite let it go the way that she wanted to because of that footwork, therefore leaving the 10 pin. Hopefully a nice easy cover for her.
No dramas there for Beck Martin with the spare. The girls need strikes. It's a must-win match for them, but they're way behind at the moment. Goes without saying here that Beck Whiting needs to deliver a strike for a team. And she does.
And that was that shot in the middle that you were talking about, Jason.
Yeah, she also changed ball, went to something a little bit more controllable, a little smoother, and she obviously hit the target that she was looking at right there through second and third arrow, around about the 12th or 13th board at the arrows. Hand behind the ball, keeping it a little bit more direct, and the ball going high flush. Now her and her partner Beck are going to have to start to string them and hope that this guy and his teammates slow down a little bit.
Oh, well, no sign of that. Big strike there for Hollywood George. They answer the challenge with a double. Now this man here, looking for 4 in a row, is Jarrod Langford. Jarrod Langford going for 4 in a row. Can he get it? He can. Outstanding stuff from the youngster.
Yeah, pretty A grade right there. Off his hand, right over his target. High rev rate, high ball speed. Hits the pocket at the right angle, all 10, straight into the back of the pit. It's like a vortex, sucked them off the back of the deck there.
It's a shot some of us could only dream of having.
Beck Martin. Need to keep striking the girls. And this time too wide.
Yeah, wide right off the hand. I guess it'll all come back to the very beginning of this coin toss decision. The boys have had success on that lane 5, both of their previous matches. They were awarded the coin toss win, and they allowed the guys to then select which lane they want. So it's coming back to certainly haunt them, the decision to forego the lane choice. And obviously, the girls aren't really enjoying this lane either.
Gets the spare. Want to get into 10-pin bowling, folks? The website to head to is bowl.com.au. Head there and find your local centre. Find out how to get involved. It'll be through leagues. Maybe if you just want to have a party at your local 10-pin bowling centre. Great way to get involved. And one day you might be able to produce strikes like that. Well done, Beck Whiting.
Beck there gives her a score of 135 in the 8th frame. If she can continue to strike out, they'll get a game of 215. The boys, though, George and Jarrod, if they can keep this up, we might see our highest game of the tournament.
Here is George Frilingos.
Yeah, right now the boys just need to stay nice and controlled, keep the closed frames, make your spares, and they'll advance through. Any disaster in the next couple of frames will still give the girls a little bit of hope, but again, a lot of things have to go right for Beck and Beck for that to happen.
He'll be looking for a spare here, will George? He's getting ready. Set now for his shot. Looking for a spare here on the 8th, and gets it. Rock solid, George Frilingos, and Jarrod Langford, they're in control. So we're back here at 10-pin City in Lidcombe in Sydney. This man on screen, Jarrod Langford, going for 5 strikes in a row. He's certainly zoned in this match. Going for 5 in a row, and he's just missed out. Leaves the 7 standing.
He might have been the first player of the tournament to strike every single time in his deliveries had that one have struck. Still, when your partner shoots 4 out of 5 strikes and the other one's a 9 count, you know, you can just put a couple of frames in between those. You generally have a pretty good game, and that's exactly what George and Jarrod have done here. They've really built this game as a team very nicely, made their spares when they've left them, and obviously put a few good strikes together.
Gets the spare. With a bit of feeling in that one too, getting the spare. Boy, he gives it a rip, doesn't he?
He throws it hard. It gets down there pretty quick.
Here's Beck Martin. Had a terrific tournament as Beck Martin. Gets the very late hook and manages to get a strike. Yet another one for her for the tournament.
Yeah, she'll be able to hold her head really high. Both the girls will. You know, giving this game a bit of a crack, needing to beat George and Jarrod by a considerable margin to move on through. Just coming up short a bit today. But again, they've got 2 points for the tournament, which is 2 more points than Sam and I got. So
I wasn't going to bring that up. About your point.
There's always someone. There's always someone worse, Peter. There's always someone worse. Unless you're Sam and I.
Yes, I was about to say.
And then it's us.
Nearly getting the spare there, Beck Whiting.
We've got George and Jarrod winning this game. 205 here in the 9th. The 10th frame still to go, looking for a max count of 245.
There's George Frilingos bowling the 10th frame, gets a strike. Wants to get the crowd involved.
No matter what happens from here, that's 6 points for these two guys from Queensland.
Yep, that'll see them move into the finals where they'll play David Porto and Matt Riley. That will be an interesting match. Both these two teams have probably performed the best of all the teams this week, and they deserve their position in the finals.
He's getting the crowd going. Here's Hollywood George looking for a strike, and misses. He misses on that occasion. The crowd's been terrific here at 10-pin City. For every match, right from word go.
So this is on right-handed. And spares it.
Gets it spare. Right-handed.
All class there from Mr. George Frilingos.
And a comprehensive victory to Jarrod Langford and George Frilingos getting the win over Beck Whiting and Beck Martin. Tournament over for the two Becks, but through to the final, undefeated they go. George and Jarrod in next week's decider. Well, this was a masterclass. Jarrod Langford and George Frilingos, too strong in the end for the two Becks.
Oh, that's right. Those two boys really stepped up their game this time. They dialed in, got it done. 6 points, 235, defeating the Becks with a score of 181. Some brilliant bowling here by Jarrod Langford.
4 strikes in a row for Langford, and then he left 9 out there for his, or got 9 down for his 5th shot. Tremendous performance by Jarrod and George getting the win. Well, George and Jarrod, well done. Into the final, undefeated. George, that was some performance out there today.
Yeah, we just keep getting better every week, don't we? So I feel very confident going into the final. Jarrod is really bowling amazing, so yeah, good things are happening.
Joe, you really dialed in there.
Yeah, I felt much better than a couple of weeks ago, but this week was just amazing. I really felt good coming into it. The game reflected it.
Mustn't be, George, a better feeling, eh? When you start bowling like that, you're going well, your partner's going exceptionally well, and it all comes together as a team.
Yeah, especially when we really needed to win that too, because even though we won the first 2 matches, we were behind on aggregate in pinfall if the girls had won. So it was actually a pretty crucial game for us, and always good when a good plan comes together in the end.
Yeah, well done. Look forward to seeing you next week in the final.
Thank you very much.
Guys, a great way for the kids to get into bowling is through Bowl Patrol. Daniel, you've had a lot to do with this program. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great program. It really does teach the kids how the good fundamentals of bowling. Gets them active, gives them a sense of achievement, really gets them involved in the sport and teaching them the coordination skills that they need to play our sport.
Good coaches, the shorten lanes too important as well.
Exactly right. It means that they can start a little bit closer to the pins, get to the pins without using the bumpers, and really learn how to bowl properly. It's great.
How important is it then too to have those coaches there with the kids at an early age? There's so much that goes into the sport.
Well, that's it. Having a coach that's enthusiastic and high-fiving, and it's great.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. Bowl Patrol, folks. Great way to get the kids involved in the sport. Look at them there having fun. For the details, head to the website, bowlpatrol.com.au. Kegel, Rollin Thunder action continues after the break with a final showdown in Pool B. It's Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant up against Ashley Warren and Chris Castle. Welcome back to Kegel, Rollin Thunder. You're watching Australia's best 10-pin bowlers in action here at 10-pin City in Sydney. Here we go with the 3rd and final round match for Pool B. Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant head-to-head against Ashley Warren and Chris Castle. Just about ready for the final match here, the Australian Bowling Cup. Rollin Thunder, Kegel Rollin Thunder. Ash Warren and Chris Castle up against Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant. And it is Ash Warren to get things started. They're bowling for pride here. That's not a great start. As he's sarcastically just saying, good start. This could be a bit of fun, this match.
He's chosen a different ball, different way of attacking the lanes this week. He's picked himself up a urethane ball. Bit smoother roll. Looking for a more consistent shot. Didn't quite work the way he wanted.
Open frame to start things off. Knocks down 8 pins.
Yeah, he didn't miss in practice, but TV lights go on and just a little quick and got it right off of his hand. 5 washout frame 1. I'm expecting to see a few strikes this game, and guys should be nice and loose.
Well, he's bowled a few strikes this tournament so far, has Glenn Loader, but not on this occasion.
High through the headpin, left off of his hand. 3-6-10. Relatively easy spare for Glenn.
This is home centre.
Sydney Swans colours, matching red shirt, red ball. Not sure his bowling partner, Richmond Tiger fan Lachlan Merchant, is too enamoured with the colour choice.
Gets the spare.
But he is mightily happy this year with the Tigers winning the grand final.
I bet he is, Lachlan Merchant, being a Richmond fan, and he's coming up to take his shot.
From Corio, close to Geelong, Lachlan Merchant. Marble Pearl ball of choice. Great technician, 21 years of age, physical game, right up there with the best.
It's a late, oh, and I thought the 10 pin was going to fall there.
Sent the messenger across, came off the left backboard, side kick, in front of the 10 pin. Messenger, but nobody was home.
No. 17 career 300 games for Lachlan Merchant.
His partner, Caitlin Kaman, one of the best talents in Australian bowling, just a little bit of a break from bowling at the moment.
Oh, and puts it into the gutter, misses his spare, and he's a little embarrassed about that one.
Wasn't the best effort at the 10 pin for Lachlan.
And we can confirm to him that, yes, the cameras were recording. There was no technical glitches or anything like that, so it's there for prosperity.
Did expect big things from these two boys, Lachlan and Glenn.
Have a look at the reaction. He knew it straight away, too. Here's Chris Castle. Gets the strike.
And there appears to be a grip or a lifter just in front of the pin deck.
2 pin rather.
Seems to have come out of one of the bowling balls. That's it right there.
Yeah, right there. Good pick up. Eagle eye. Have they seen it?
Boys are frantically searching around to see which one's missing a finger grip.
I think it might be Lachlan Merchant's bowling ball that's lost one of the finger inserts.
Going to have to go down and pick that one up.
Seen this happen on TV once before. Cara Honeychurch going for a 300 on TV, lost her finger grip. Managed to refocus, glue it back in, bowl the 300, win some serious cash and the tournament.
One of the finest pieces of bowling that I've ever seen from the mental perspective. Sat there, re-glued the grip, and as Daniel said, shot the 300. I believe it was for $50,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're back.
We'll continue. Here
Minus
is
the grip.
Ash Warren.
Get there.
And bowls a strike.
That's what he wanted.
Sends down the strike. He liked that one, did Ash Warren.
George Frilingos has just come over to me with a free 60 Abralon pad that he's been using on his bowling ball for the last couple of games. Just trying to make that ball hook a little bit more.
Then later just misses there.
Came up a little bit light, left that 7 pin. Something that we saw yesterday in the practice sessions. Good shot. Should be a easy spare to run down for Glenn Loader.
Go right back to week 2 of Kegel Rollin Thunder. He started off his campaign on fire. Bowled a number of strikes. They're still winless, these two.
Shows his partner how to spare the single pin.
Interesting before the tournament. As I said, the level of competition is so high that obviously Sam and Jason would have been the pre-tournament favourites, but not far behind would have been Jarrod and Lachlan, or Glenn Loader, sorry, and Lachlan Merchant. They would have been some people's second favourites. And both teams are winless.
Yeah. Maybe they should have a playoff for last.
Who'd have believed that?
You told me to say that in case any of them are wondering. And here is Lachlan Merchant. Bang, gets a strike.
Same light hit as Glenn, but just gets the pin to come out and take out that 7-pin.
Chris Castle to continue now. So we look at the Kegel replay at that strike.
Kegel Rollin Thunder, and it was the head pin. The head pin just got off the kickboard and nudged the 7-pin out.
Well, Chris Castle here looking for a turkey.
Great start for the team and leaves the 10 standing.
Great shot, Chris Castle. 6-pin, as Jason was mentioning in previous weeks, just wrapped around the 10. That 6-pin just needs to kick the 10 out there, and millimeters it would have flown around 10. Missed it on its way past.
Castle looking for the spare and gets it. So we've got a tight match on our hands here for the final pool match of Kegel Rollin Thunder. The action continuing now with Ashley Warren.
We've got a nice tight match here with us. 1 pin the difference between these two teams.
He's at the hook and does. Gets a strike. We like that one.
Sneaky power from Ashley there. Gets it right as he did in frame 1, but as you see there, he's on balance, got good leverage, and the ball hooks back from that spot. Carries the pins. Good shot from Ashley Warren in frame 5.
Glenn Loader. And he almost gets a strike.
Is that 9.5?
If you could give him the half, you would on that occasion.
Looked like it was going to fall, but stubborn. Stood back up the 4-pin.
Must have been that blue tack we put down there earlier.
Or the glue.
And he'll get the spare. Don't forget to bowl.com.au to find your local bowling centre. Whether you want to join a league, which is a great way about going about, as we've been saying right throughout Kegel Rollin Thunder, great way to meet new people, get involved in a competitive sport, join a bowling league. There's leagues for all sorts of standards and ages. Bowl.com.au to find your local centre.
Head down this afternoon, in fact. Any one of the local bowling centres will be happy to sign you up.
Lachlan Merchant.
That makes it harder. As a bowler, it's not what you want it to do.
The Cryo Kid coming up high through the head pin. 3-6-10 takes out the 6 and leaves the baby split. We've seen that a few times over the last few weeks. Difficult spare.
So he would have preferred the 6 to remain standing there.
That's right. Give him that extra pin to play with. Hasn't gone to the spare ball. Taking up his strike ball and trying to flatten it out with a straight release across lane.
Here we go, and he misses the spare, takes one of them out. Another open frame.
Just interesting in the last few weeks, we've seen more and more of these bowlers pick up reactive balls for their spares. Either trying to flatten them out or trying to hook at the spares. A little bit different from the traditional method of a plastic ball.
Do you think it may have been Lachlan's finger insert that came out of his spare ball? Was the reason why he picked up his strike ball there? We'll have to ask him that.
Could be.
Here's Chris Castle.
Goes high into Brooklyn. Not happy with that at all.
As I say in bowling, that was a good 9.
Fortunate not to leave more of them out there.
Often you'll throw a good shot and you'll leave that single pin and you feel hard done by, but in that particular instance, he didn't let it go how he wanted to. Got 9 count, get the spare, move on.
And he just gets the spare. Outside edge of the pin. You nearly put the mock on him. I think all 3 of us have done that at one point or another over the course of the last couple of months.
I was never worried.
We have touched on this previously, but want to re-raise it here as we have a look at Ashley Warren. There's a good shot of him staring down the lane. Where's he looking? Are the pins anywhere in his vision?
Not at all. Pins are 60 feet away, so he's going to target something that's a little bit closer. We do have the arrows that are 15 feet out on the lane, and we do have the dots that are about 7 feet out on the lane. So he'll pick a target down lane where the end of the oiling pattern will finish, and he'll bring that line closer to him, and he'll look at these arrows and target through that spot 15 feet away. And he'll draw an imaginary line out to that break point, try and roll the ball through his target to that break point.
Well, there's a great view of it. It wasn't a great shot, but we had a great view of what he was trying to do there and what he was looking at.
Little errant spare shooting in this game so far. A few good shots, a few good strikes, but just a few single pin and easy spare conversions missed.
So that can be something about someone who's just taking up the sport, who maybe just wanting to stick their head up as soon as they bowl to see what they're going to hit. And as we see a strike there for Loader, Glenn Loader getting the strike. These guys aren't even worried about it. Keeping their head down, going through with their shot, then looking up and seeing what happens.
You want to keep your head as still as possible over the top of that bowling ball, and as you've released it down lane, you want to stay over the top and keep in the shot, not pop up and jump up out the shot. You want to stay down low and as long as possible through that release point. 7 pins behind. Lachlan working on a strike. Can take the lead back by 3 pins with a strike here in frame 8.
Can he get a strike? Gets it a hook and does. That is a fantastic shot there from Lachlan Merchant. The local crowd enjoying it.
Here we go again. We see 2 teams tossing the win between each other. One open frame here. Not getting the double. Can turn the game right around.
Chris Castle. And gets a strike.
What a strike that was.
The walls of the castle falling there with that strike. Been waiting about 2 months to say that one with Chris in action. Ashley Warren to continue for the team representing Sunset Super Bowl in Toowoomba. The enthusiasm that these two bring to 10-pin bowling. And there's another strike. Back-to-back strikes.
Answering strike to strike here now, starting to loosen up. Double for Ashley and Chris, answering Glenn and Lachlan striking frame 7 and 8. So the lead's going back and forth here. Glenn going up for possible 3 in a row in frame 9 to take back the lead.
Here's Glenn Loader. He's starting to find his range. And is it going to go? It won't.
Twice this game, Glenn has left a rocking single pin.
He's smiling about it.
Let's have a look at that Kegel Rollin Thunder replay. Misses left, goes over to the Brooklyn, trying to trip the 6-pin out. Stubborn, won't fall over.
Gets the spare. So we go into the 10th and final frame in Pool B. Both these teams playing for pride. Can the locals of Lachlan Merchant and Glenn Loader finish the competition with a win? It would be their first win of the tournament.
Here we are again, down to the 10th frame. 7 pins behind. Lachlan looking to get a strike and put the pressure back onto the other team.
Can he get a strike? He can.
Little unconventional, but gets away with it.
Strike for Lachlan Merchant.
Another strike here would force Ashley and Chris to strike in a 10th frame to win this match. So to support the shot. Looked like he was a little left. Ball sat, held, and tripped the 4-pin out there. Yeah, he's quite happy about that. Let's see if he can take advantage of that one and put the pressure back onto Ashley and Chris.
Here is Merchant again. Chris and Ash looking on. Looking to end the tournament in style for the locals. Almost.
Similar hit to the last one, but that one didn't come back and trip the 4-pin out, and he's left with a 4-pin. So Ashley and Chris are going to need a spare in the 10th frame. How many times have we said that? They're going to need a spare to close out this game and win the match.
It's happened a lot. A lot of matches, most of them, in fact, going down to the 10th frame. Here is Lachlan Merchant. Gets the late hook. And the spare to finish. So 184 is the score for Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant.
Spare or better required by Chris Castle in frame 10 to win this. An open frame, and Glenn and Lachlan will get their first win.
Chris Castle looking for the turkey for the team. He's determined to finish this off well.
We almost saw a comeback of that commentator's curse. Going into the 10th frame, more than one occasion here in Rolling Thunder. It's come down to the 10th frame, as you guys have said. And the bowlers just haven't quite got to the pocket, just like we saw Chris here.
Spare will be enough, Daniel. Spare will win the game. If he doesn't spare, the match will be Glenn and Lachlan's.
Needs the spare and gets it. He knows how fortunate he was.
He's hoping and praying.
As we say, you don't have to draw a diagram. He got the job done.
Very close to chopping the free off the 6. Gets the break, spare. And that'll be a win for Ashley and Chris. 4 points, not going to be enough. George and Jarrod, perfect through 3, are going to be in the final against David and Matt.
So the final shot of the tournament for Chris Castle, looking to finish with a strike, and he does!
And what a strike that was to finish.
Fantastic stuff. They finish on 190, win by 6 pins in the end, 190 to 184. The locals and very fancy team of Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant finish the tournament winless. But coming second in Pool B will be Ashley Warren and Chris Castle. Not enough to get them through to the final, but a terrific tournament that both of them have had. Well done to Chris Castle and Ash Warren getting the win over Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant. Well, Paul, it was a match that had its ebbs and flows. The momentum kept swinging, but in the end, Ashley Warren and Chris Castle, too good.
Yep, came down to the 10th frame again and took the lead, gave it back, took the lead, gave it back. Finally, in the end, they got over the line and got the W. Good scores, good event, and well done to both teams.
Yeah, well done to them, getting the win there. Ash Warren and Chris Castle to close out their Rollin Thunder campaign. Well, guys, well done on finishing the tournament off in style. It was a hotly contested tournament, but you must feel happy with what you've done, Ash. Would that be right?
Definitely happy, yeah. A little bit disappointed in some factors, but definitely happy with the result.
Chris, for yourself, good to finish off with a win. You go home with 4 points.
Yeah, it's good. You know, we didn't start the best in the first game, but that's the way bowling goes. So we finished strong, and that's, you know, we walk away with a second place rather than third or fourth. So, you know, bigger next year.
Ash, I get the feeling that you can't wait to have another crack at this. You enjoyed it, didn't you?
Definitely can't wait. It was much enjoyable, and definitely look forward to doing it again next year.
Well done today. Well done on the whole tournament overall, and look forward to seeing you back in 2018.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Guys, a great way for the kids to get into bowling is through Bowl Patrol. Daniel, you've had a lot to do with this program. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great program. It really does teach the kids how the good fundamentals of bowling. Gets them active, gives them a sense of achievement, really gets them involved in the sport and teaching them the coordination skills that they need to play our sport.
Good coaches, the shorten lanes too important as well.
Exactly right. It means that they can start a little bit closer to the pins, get to the pins without using the bumpers, and really learn how to bowl properly. It's great.
How important is it then too to have those coaches there with the kids at an early age? There's so much that goes into the sport.
Well, that's it. Having a coach that's enthusiastic and high-fiving, and it's great.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. Bowl Patrol, folks. Great way to get the kids involved in the sport. Look at them there having fun. For the details, head to the website, bowlpatrol.com.au. So the conclusion of Pool B, each team having played their 3 matches. It's well done to George Frilingos and Jarrod Langford, finishing the tournament undefeated through to the final. A great tournament for Ashley Warren and Chris Castle, finishing with 4 points. Beck Whiting and Beck Martin with 2. And Glenn Loader and Lachlan Merchant, highly fancied going into Kegel Rollin Thunder, finish without a point. Join us next week when we return with the big one. It is the final. David Porto and Matt Riley up against Jarrod Langford and George Frilingos. The ultimate battle for the Australian Bowling Cup. This is Kegel, Rollin Thunder. Bye-bye for now. He's in now, full of confidence. Gets the late hook and the strike.
Come on.
Can he get the strike? He does, and he likes it as well. Here's Matt Riley with a strike. So it's Ergie for his team. Jarrod Langford with the strike.
There he is. Langford, once he finds his spot, he's on.
Big moment. David Porto in with his shot. And he's got it!
David Porto, take a bow.
Wow. There's George Frilingos bowling 10th frame, gets a strike.
Hey, there's 5 frames, there's no tactics, it's just bowl 5 strikes, get out there and do your best and hope the other team doesn't do as well as you.
He's seen what his partner's been able to do, and he's done the same.
I actually got the opportunity to choose my partner, and I did choose Jarrod, because Jarrod is the new superstar of Australian bowling.
Jarrod Langford. Massive amount of revs on that one. He gets a much-needed strike. Can he drive a nail into the girl's coffin? He does. He knows how big that was. The fist pump, the high fives. In the 10 to negotiate. And he does.
What a spare George Frilingos.
Wow.